What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Stephanie James, and today's topic on the road to 40 is about humanity. So, being in 60 countries, I feel like you want to see history and food and culture, and you want to learn about everything. But the one thing that I think I learned the most about when I'm traveling is humanity, and how just like being human connects all of us in such a way that we don't even sometimes often realize. And so I have five points today that I want to drive home about humanity and learning about humanity during my travels. So number one, joy is universal. Kindness is universal, I should say. And you definitely have to use discernment when you're traveling and make sure that you're safe and that you are being mindful of your surroundings and the people that you're talking to and the company you're keeping. But in my experience, I have found kind person every single place that I've ever been, be it taking a picture for me, helping me navigate if I'm lost, having a conversation, having random lunches, going to different temples and museums, and like hiking up hills together when we got stuck in South Africa at the base of Lion's Head, and I'm hiking solo, they're hiking solo, and we just connect, right? But there's kindness everywhere, and it doesn't necessarily take a lot to be kind. You don't necessarily need a language or to speak the same language to be kind to one another. Like a smile is universal. No matter where you are, if you're smiling, somebody knows that you are kind, that you're well intended, and just one smile can brighten up somebody's day. Whether you're traveling or not, a smile can brighten up somebody's day. The second one is just that people want to be seen. They want to be heard. And so I think it's really important that when you're traveling, or just when you're, even if you're like domestically anywhere, you're open to asking questions about people's stories. People want to share their stories, be it the street vendors, the somebody that was working at a store, an entrepreneur. They want to tell their story about how they got started. How long have you been here? Is this a family recipe? Where did it come from? Did it come from your mom? Did it come, like, just being open to hearing people's stories, because people really all around the world, they want to tell those stories. They feel like they want to be seen, they want to be heard. And when you as a traveler, as an explorer, go in and with the attitude of hearing more about them and what they have to offer. It's great to see landmarks and history and learn and do all the touristy things. There's a time and space for that as well. But you really will, the memories and the moments that stick with you the most are those conversations that you have with people and the people that you meet along the way in your travels. Another one that I would say is like joy exists everywhere, right? You can dance in the street, you'll see kids playing in the parks. I remember being in Mexico City, going to Coyoacan. They have a lot of different parks, and kids running around and screaming and just enjoying themselves and having a good time. And we're not really that different in the space that kids just want to play, regardless of what country you're in the world, right? It's that we are way more similar than we are different. And I think sometimes we all lose sight of that or forget that, because maybe somebody does something differently than the way that we would do it. But at the core of us, we're all quite similar, right? And that's actually my fourth point, is that we're all more similar than different. And I think at our core values, when it comes to, like, maybe it's a different faith, but our faith matters to us. Maybe it's a different way of rearing our children, but our children's safety matters to us. Maybe it's a different way of evoking joy, but having fun with our family and our friends matters to us, right? So a lot of our core, deep-rooted values around the world are very similar. We all want to be able to provide for our families, enjoy a beautiful life, have some peace, have some joy, enjoy some entertainment, play some games. We're so much more alike than we are different. And I think sometimes we can lose sight of that, because the way that somebody gets to an end goal is different than the way that we would. And so just be mindful of that as you're traveling and things like that. And then also, curiosity creates connection. And I think that's important to know as well. And it's kind of along the lines of people wanting to tell their stories. But I think one is asking about people's stories, but also being curious about the way that they got there and the things that they've done to get there, and just the surrounding stories of their life and of their people. People like around the world, people love to say, hey, this is the history, this is who my grandfather was, and this tour company has been in my family for years, and this is why, and this is how it got started. And you being curious and asking questions about them and their background is really what breeds a deeper connection with people. Those are the conversations that you won't forget. Yeah, you have fun. You remember Ghana. You remember the door of no return. You'll remember eating fufu for the first time in Banku. But what you really remember is the person that you randomly sat next to at dinner who shared their life story, and it touched you in a way that you never knew could. That's the moment that you remember more than anything. And the way if you change somebody's life, or if you've done something, or you're volunteering abroad, like those personal connections with people is the moments and memories that you'll remember. So I just want to talk to you guys about that today a little bit. And I think it's just also applicable for life. And I think it's applicable for how we show up in our day-to-day lives, even in our current city, even if we're in our current neighborhood, right? Like, when's the last time you took a moment to get to know the people around you, their history, their background, ask questions about, do they like their job? How did they get into, a pet waste picking up business? Like, how did you get into being an entrepreneur of a marketing agency? How did you get into sports media management, right? Like, really asking questions that matter and showing real interest after you ask the question. And I think that's the part that we're missing. You see a lot of times now in interviews and different times where people will ask you a question and then completely disengage once you start to respond. And I get it, because social media is making everybody's attention span so short to the point that it's hard for us to be deeply focused and engaged with somebody in a real conversation for extended amounts of time without being distracted by something else. Maybe we are talking on the phone and then you quickly click over to TikTok or Instagram, or you're, you're on one computer, but you have two screens open. So you're doing dual screen duty. So you cannot be focused on something that's happening on the first screen, or not your full attention. And so I think it's just so important to give our full undivided attention when we're asking people these questions, and really being curious and engaged and present in those moments, because those are the moments that matter. Those are the moments that you will remember. Those are the moments that will change your life. And it's so important as you're about to endeavor in your travels, or you continue traveling, that you're mindful of how you show up in these conversations, and that you make time and space and energy to get to know the people of the place. There is the place, the places are amazing, but it is the humanity, the people, that makes the place what it is. So just a beautiful reminder for you guys today. Happy Thursday. I love y'all. Thank you so much for coming on this journey. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share this with somebody that you think would also appreciate coming on this journey too. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later.